We're in the final stages of our global tech order. The production was done on July 25th. We changed the job board status to ready to ship. Please understand that ready to ship can mean the customer is picking up the order, it's being delivered, or it is in fact being shipped. The job is due tomorrow, so we actually want to notify the customer today that the job is ready for them to pick up. Let's take a step back for a minute and actually look at the work order that was printed to complete the job. I'll click on the action button next to my global tech order, scroll to click on the print work order option, and as you can see, I can see that it is a left chest design going on the apparel item, and I can see all the sizes of the shirt. To get a more in-depth view, I can click on the image and I can see the zoomed in version of the logo. I can see all the shirts that are getting the embroidery. I can see the color sequence. It prints blue then white. I can see the stitch count and a lot more other information. Your production team will probably want this either manually printed or they can view it from their iPad. If they're going to manually print it, they'll click on the print option, and then they can handwrite production notes once this is printed. To add production notes so that if you repeat the order, you know exactly what was done on the previous order, close out of the print preview, close out of the print work order, go back to the job board and click on the action button and go to the edit art option. You can now click on the action option and click on edit artwork. Click on production drop down and go to setup notes. Here's where you can type the information so it prints on the work order sheet the next time around. The first step to complete the production is to go into the order itself and move the invoice status from work in progress to completed. At this time, you can send an email to the customer to notify them that the job has been completed. If you do not want to send the email, simply uncheck the checkbox and hit send. We can also change the job task board status at this time if necessary. So we can move it from ready to ship, to shipped, to done, or after sales follow-up. I'm just going to leave it on ready to ship for now. The task board now tells us two things about this job. From the ship tab, if I click on the goods ready to be shipped, my job now appears in this list. I'll scroll to find it. So here's our global tech job. The only way to remove the job from this area is to move the invoice status from completed to ship/pickup. From the money tab, customers with an open balance, our customer now appears in this area as well. The only way to remove the customer from this list is to receive the payment on the balance. We're back on the task board under the Ship tab, and we now want to find our job and mark the order as shipped. I'll click on the action button, click on the open option, and then on the invoice status, we want to move it from completed to ship/pickup. At this point, we have an option to send an email to the customer. I'm going to go ahead and check the option off and hit send. This is now what the customer will see in their inbox. They'll have an email that says order is ready for pickup, If they click on it, they can now go in to view the invoice. If they want, they can actually print the invoice out. Or they can click on the view option and pay any balance that's due. The only thing left to do right now is receive the final payment on our Global Tech order. I'm currently on the job board, and as you can see, our Global Tech order no longer appears here. The moment we moved the invoice status from work in progress to completed, it then came off the job board. So the scenario is our customer is now in our showroom picking up his order, and we want to receive the final payment. Let's do that by clicking on the shortcut option and going to the task board. I'll click on customers with an open balance. I'll find my Global Tech customer, and then I'll click on the action option to go into the view account. The transaction tab is already in view, and I can see all open transactions for this customer. I'll click on the action button and I'll click on receive payment. The customer is going to give me a check for the full amount, so I'll leave this default. If I wanted to take another payment, I would simply click on the drop down and select whichever type was appropriate. If I want to take a different amount than the final amount due, I could type in whatever amount I want to take here. And then the final step is I want to log his check number. I'll click on confirm payment. After receiving the payment, I'm no longer on the transaction tab of the customer account view. I'm now on the orders tab. And if the customer is requesting a printed version of the invoice, we can certainly do that. We can also email him a copy of the invoice as well. So to do that, I'll click on the action option. I'll click on edit. I'm going to actually go into the customer view of the order. And then I can click on the print option to print this out for him. I can now come back to the order and move the job board status from shipped to after sales follow-up, because I do want to make it a point that in a couple of days I want to call the customer and see if they're continuing to be happy with the job we provided them. Let's do that now on the task board. I would now call the customer, confirm that they're happy with the order, and then I can also enter in any notes that I need to about the job. So I'll click on the notes option and I can click on and put a new note in. We now need to move the after sales follow-up to done. And now this order does not appear anywhere on our job board or our task board. Everything has been completed on this order. If we want, we can now click in on the customers and we can find our Global Tech customer, and we can go into the customer account view and we can see some other additional stats. So on the art tab, we can see any active or completed art. On the stats tab, we can also see information about this customer's account. Thank you for watching this video.